Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh yeah, we're gonna get it today. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack at it. Buy up. Orale, as you can tell by today's thumbnail, I'm gonna answer some very unanswered questions. See, a lot of people ask me different, so every day, hey, gun, what's happening? You know what I mean? What color shoes should I wear? So I don't care. Wear pink, man. Put one in the pink and one in the stain. I don't give a fuck. At the same time, man, there's questions that you should be asking your old lady. That's what she's there for. But then there are questions that I do want to answer and elaborate on and give my input on to the best of my abilities. I'm going to give you some knowledge you'll never get in Hill College. So I was going down to a commercial. You know what I mean? Hey, come join us today, and you'll be in 18 months. You'll be a fucking working as a mechanic at some fucking Jiffy Lube. Nah, trip out. Keep your antennas up. Listen one time for your mind, and I'm gonna give you the game. As you can tell by that thumbnail, we're talking about the brothers and the others, and where do they fall in with all this guerra that's happening on these prison yards in California? The war, you know, are they going to participate? Are they going to be non-participants? Does it fucking affect them? Does it not? So I was good. Do they just want to jump in head first? I was good because there's sharks swimming around in that water. But they're a slept-on group, and I'm going to tell you they're a very powerful group. Both these groups, the others as well as the Africano brothers. Now let's get to the Africanos first and foremost. I've done a lot of time on level 4s and level 3 yards, and traditionally the Africano brothers are with the business, right? They're with it, man. I know a lot of people say, well, they don't politic as hard as the Mexicanos, or they don't politic like the Norteños or the Southsiders. And you're absolutely correct in that. They don't. Everybody politics different. Believe me, they got their own reason, their own ways why they do the things that they do. Their groups are more founded on cultural beliefs and being brothers and sticking together. Now, you have different groups that are fragmented within the Africano community, you would say in prison, right? You have, of course, the NCs, the Northern Crips, you know, who are totally different from the LA Crips, you know, or the down south Crips. Because there are Cripas out there in San Diego, just fucking see walking y todo. I'm like, oh, boy, oh, Piru, they're doing it. And, of course, you have the Pirus, the Bloods, the Sangres that do their thing as well on the same side of the yard. And then, of course, very well known and dangerous group, man, that sometimes could switch up on you. So sometimes they could be cool than a motherfucker, which are the Kumi 415s. And then you have the Muslims and so on and so forth. Other non-affiliates like, you know, just African brothers, man, that are in there just doing their time, man. They're just trying to get on by. You know, a little pimpin' never hurt nobody. That's what they're in for. So that's good. They're trying to shake and motherfucking bake one time like Curry. Pull up and pop. And then, of course, you have groups like the Vice Lords, Gangster Disciples, people from out of state that have found themselves incarcerated in the state of California. And of course, they're going to wiggle with their people first and foremost, because they go along those racial lines, man. When it's all said and done, man, the brothers will stick together in certain things. And then, of course, they will even go at it with each other, depending upon the rules, regulations, and the politics of that day. It goes on day to day. Now, when you talk about a group like the Kumis, who got a lot of militant structure, man. They're very militant in what they do. You got to understand that this group is derived from the black guerrilla family, right? So they got a lot of that old school mentality, but it just depends on who's running the yard for them at that particular time. If it's a vato from the old school, a seasoned vet that can dance underwater and not get wet with antennas that are all over the place so he knows what time it is. He's just a seasoned warrior, you know what I mean? Straight up motherfucker from the Zulu Nation doing his thing. You know what I mean? You got to understand that he's going to have his people on the straight lace. He's going to have his people gamed up tight, man. They're going to be in that motherfucker like, just getting it, right? I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes, man. They become very structured, these Kumi 415s, you know, and they take the initiative to be on the forefront to handle business for the Africanos. Now, if you have a vato from the West Oakland Acorns, man, that's in that motherfucker wiggling, right, and he don't give a fuck, well, they're going to be a little bit more boisterous, a little bit more wild, bro, and they're going to be a little bit more disfragmented and be all over the place with their shit. That does not mean that there's some type of suckers. That does not mean that any brothers in prison are suckers. Because I'm going to tell you right now, brothers are a very treacherous and dangerous group that will break your back one time. Long dick style. They'll give it to you. On Piru, they'll fuck you off, right? Now, of course, you have the Bloods, the Pirus, Damus, and then the Crips and all that. And they all function on the same side of the yarda with the Norteños and the others, man. So where do they fall into this mix with all this guerra that's happening right now, with all this implications of yards being flipped, people being put on yards, SNYs, GPs, general population? It's all fucked up right now. It's like a milkshake. So let's get spin. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes they didn't do it right? Let's get fucked Jack in the Box. Anyways, this is what it is. I don't think they have a horse in this race. I think at this particular time, the Africanos are going to do what's best for their movement, which is sit back and let the essays handle their business, man. If the white boys, if they want to become involved, man, as long as they don't pose no potential threat to the African community, the Africano brothers, man, it's not their beef, okay? It's not their shit. Now, everyone's always said, well, the Norteños have always had a loose alliance with the Africano brothers. Yeah, they get along for the most part, man. They function on the same side of the yard. They chop it up. They got game, man. It varies from yarda to yarda. I've been on yards, man, where the brothers are all in like Errol Flynn. Let's have it. What's happening? Let's get it, right? And then I've been on yards where they're like, I don't fuck with them essays, right? It just depends on what yard you're on and how it's going and the get down. Now, of course, traditionally, we already know about this. Just keep it real. Just keep it real. Don't lie to yourself, right? The Africanos and the Southern community have been at odds and war. It's getting better nowadays, but, you know, back in the days when we were young, we're not kids anymore, right? It was going down. We know that. There were green lights put on each other. There was fucking, you can catch that bullet, you can catch it, you know what I mean? Whatever it was what it is, right? Nowadays, it's changed up, it's switched up a little bit different, but of course, the Southsiders still have their own side of the yard over there with the whites. And we're going to dispel some type of fucking misconceptions right now where everyone thinks that they ride with the whites against brown people. It's not like that, okay? Period. Anyways, so the Africano brothers, when it comes to this this war that's going to start to fucking accumulate, I don't think they're going to become involved. I think the only way the brothers become involved, man, is if one's from the old school, man, that's a well-seasoned vet and has a taita that's a norteño or even a Southsider, man, decides that if for no other reason, man, they should participate because it's going to affect their program, meaning the lockdown situations. It's going to fuck up what they got going on the Miyadas concerning cell phones and all mine shit we can't speak on. Then it becomes a hindrance. And when it becomes a hindrance to your people in prison, Sasuke, your voice needs to be felt, and they need to be felt with these. It's respect, man. If they feel that they're being disrespected and not given their just due, Sasuke, they're going to get in that shit immediately. To what degree of it, I can't call it. That might facilitate wheelouts for people and help people out, shoot them pieces. But as far as hands-on situations, that's very rare for the Africano brothers, man, to get involved in something that is not of their concern and not, man, let the essays do their thing. Sasuke, them essays is crazy. You know what I mean? Oh, I rolled they're crazy. Man, we got the tapes. They're not playing, right? So that's your answer right there as far as the African brothers, what's going on now. I talked to a few Africano brothers, man. I got nothing but love for them. You know, that black and brown love, man. We go way back like thumbtacks on the motherfucking seat. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit down. Poke your ass, right, one time. And they told me straight up, they were like, hey, Gun, yeah, bro, we're just going to see how this plays out. Shit. We ain't tripping off these motherfuckers one time for our mind. They're trying to go out to the yada and kick it. They're trying to bump some motherfucker Too Short in their boombox, some Young Jeezy. Yeah, they're trying to do their thing, man. It's not their politics, so it's definitely not their business. Once an Africano brother becomes involved and finds himself in a situation like that, well, let me tell you what happens. Then it gets worse. Then it becomes racial. Then it becomes frivolous. It becomes something that it didn't start out to be. And that's what happens time and time again. History repeats itself, man. It's best if the brothers just lean back and let everyone do their thing, because at the end of the day, their politics are much different than, say, North and South politics or even Bulldog politics. You know what I mean? Just very different. Now, the others, man, my brothers from another mother, right? My Usos, Solis, my brothers love. Asian partners, man. You already know, man, I got love for the TRG, the ABZs, all the cats, the MODs, and the list goes on and on. The Vietnam boys, man, the motherfuckers that are with the business. Now, one thing about the Asians, the Usos, the Polynesians, and any other group that affiliates themselves with them, meaning the Iranians or fucking Awata from France, you know, whoever they take into the fold, Puerto Rican, that they show love for, the other car is also a dangerous and strong car in prison. They're not to be slept on, man. You know, they do their own thing. They're one of the only cars that's able to facilitate business with all groups. They're able to wiggle, but they do hold it down for their crown. Oh, yes, tilted sideways, but macking and mobbing is what they do. The others are with the activities, okay? Now, will the others be involved in this fucking war with the SNYs and Sasuke? Charlie, fuck no, bro. They're not even involved really when it's guerra with fucking on their own yard. They like to do their own thing. Now, don't get it twisted. They will put you in the pretzel. Sasuke, some big old Samoan in the cell. He will pretzel you up real quick and dip you in con queso, and Sasuke each. He ain't playing, right? Them motherfucking Usos are on a different level of bigness. You know what I mean? Word of the day, bigness. Straight up. But the Usos, Polynesians, and the Asians, other car, traditionally will be the fuck up out the mix, man. They're not trying to be involved in it. Nothing that poses a danger to their people. They're a very short car, meaning they're not the deepest car in the sea. They have their own part of the yard. They maintain, they do their bar work, they eat their spreads, they kick back. They're basically about their gente and their people. See, there's a lot of usos that say we're Crips on the streets or Sangres, SOS gang. You got a lot of different vatos from down south. You got usos from Utah that just happen to wiggle one time and get caught with the motherfucking little 8-ball. You got people from every walk of life, and they identify with their cultura, with their culture, with their gente and their people. They let everything else go till they hit the streets, because street gang shit is street gang shit and prison politics is prison politics. And the others will come in and identify with their own gente. Of course, the Asians are the same way. You might have a fucking TRG on the streets and an ABZ, man, and they hate each other to the fullest. They're trying, let's get it, right? They might do their little heads up homes and handle their business, but at the end of the day, they're Asians, man, and Asian people must stick together because they're short in prison. And so, you know what I mean? It is what it is. They need to hold it down for what they truly believe in, which is the traditions of their people. All Asian groups. We're talking about Pinoys. We're talking about Vietnamese, Mien, Hmong, you know, all these different groups, Cambodians, already Cambodians. You know, they all need to stick together and do what they does. Cause on 55th Street, they have to. Now, their politics are a lot different. Yes, they do have politics. Yes, they do have rules and regulations. You can't just go on the yard and be like, fuck that. I used to be a Norteño, but you know what? For some reason, man, the wind's not blowing there that day. I think I'm going to become an other. Nah, it doesn't work that way. You're not going to just become an other because you think, shit, I want to go to the other side of the yard. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? You're going to be ran in. They're going to run your fucking Southgate. Not that type of ran in Southgate. See what's on your mind? They're going to, and my mind too. Bang, bang, Arby's. They're going to take your paperwork, Southgate, just like anywhere else, and they're going to identify what yards you've been on, and they're going to screen you, bro. They're going to give you your due process to see if you're of other qualifications, right? And if you're not equal to see, don't try to portray that you are, man, because them big usos, man, they just love breaking a motherfucker's back one time, right? That's just the way it is. Solis, stand up. But at the same time, they're very good people, very respectful, very humble people, and I'm talking about the Polynesians as well as the Asians, man. I've always loved the other car. Did a lot of fraternizing, a lot of willing and dealing with the others, man. Just good gente all the way around, man. But very dangerous in their own right. So they're not to be slept on. So now we have the war. Okay, the war that's going on. Will the others become involved? I'm here to tell you right now. If you come into their motherfucking area with that knife place, that's good. Then they're going to have to pull out what they pull out. And that's a whole lot of pulling out. I'm telling you, but as long as you leave them alone, man, I don't think that they're even going to be involved in this mix. This is more of an active versus non-active mix. Now, I'm not here to say the others ain't active. Oh, they're active and they function, right? But at the same time, they're not going to become involved, okay, in something that doesn't pertain to them, just like the Africano brothers. If it ain't their mix, well, guess what? Why be Betty Crocker? You know what I mean? They're not trying to make cakes. They're trying to eat them, though, straight up. That's just how it's always been with the others, man. They're a very likable group. They're very good gente, man. And I don't foresee them in the future becoming involved in anything unless one of their homeboys is placated on accident, jumped, stabbed, scraped. Then, of course, they're going to feel some type of way, and it's going to vary from yard to yard. It's not like they're shooting wheelers out to every other car. Every other car in prison runs their own program. There's not a set other king that kicks back with the conun crown and shit and horns on his head like, hey, I control this. You know what I mean? There's no puppet masters here. Every yard has their own other car, and every other car does their own thing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go into the details of their program because it's not for you nor me to speak on, but I will say that they're righteous individuals that nobody wants to fuck with, because at the end of the day, you never know how big that Uso is, right? He'll fuck around and he'll choke you. What the? I didn't even know that was fucking that big, eh? You know what I mean? Do you know? Fuck yeah. Right? Yeah, he got you. Got you where he wants you, and you're lucky he didn't eat you. Straight up. That's how big about the rock. You know what I mean? Finally, the Usos have come back to Yard C facility. That's just how it is. Anyways, trip out. So questions have been asked to me. They're like, gun, you know, they're still GP, bro, and non-actives come other. What about non-active Usos or non-active Asians? I can't call them one like an alcoholic, man. I don't see the reasoning behind Asians falling off unless it was like a drug debt or someone told on someone. Of course, they'll put them on an S&Y yard. Do I think they'll be embraced back by their people? I don't know, man. That's getting too detailed. You're doing too much now. Motherfuckers are asking questions that not even motherfucking God himself can answer. So I was getting, nobody knows does one, but at the end of the day, we'll just have to find out and see. Now, when it comes to norteños and sureños, southsiders, camarada y todo, and bulldogs, well, fuck, it's funk season, right? I'ma stay sharp but funky. Right? They're gonna get funky. We already know that, man. And then when it comes to non-active groups like 2-5ers, Northern Riders, Zapatistas, whatever the case may be, independent riders, well, then you already know what time it is, man, on both sides. They're all gonna get fucked. Hey, we can all just fuck this place up. I ain't going against the guns, right? Of course, the brothers, the Usos, the Asians, they ain't going against the guns. They like, but you know you done fucked up, right? We're on your ass. They'll be on your ass if you act stupid. That's a fact. But like I said, the traditions say, and the way that I've always looked at it is, the brothers are just trying to do their own thing if it don't affect the men, and the Polynesians and the Asians, the others that are doing the same. You know, they're just trying to kick back. Now, it can get icky sticky. Okay, if you do bring certain targeted gang members, say that a brother's man that done told on everyone and their mom, you know, the brothers gonna roll them up. Straight up. Don't think that they're just going to come back into the fold and kick it with the brother. Hey, it's a new day, man. I done told on all y'all motherfuckers. On power, I told on everyone. But now I'm going to kick it. Nah, they ain't going to kick it. They're going to get a motherfucking boot upside their head, a pedazo in their ass, and Saskia pico de gallo, and they're going to be told, bye-bye. You know what I mean? They're going to be over. Fuck that. Motherfuckers from Oakland ain't playing. Frisco, stand up. You know what it is. LA, oh, that's a whole different level. You know what I mean? Monstros. Now, and as far as it comes with the Usos, like I said, man, the embracement's not going to be there. Nobody on an active general population yard is going to embrace anybody that was functioning simultaneously side by side with trash, chirujos, fucking degenerate type characters, fucking weirdos, right? They're just not going to do that. That's not the way it works. General population prison means you have to maintain for your people. You have to, you know, people have fought for several years to garner and gain that respect that comes with your car. There isn't just the other, you don't just fucking have another car and they have their own little place on the yarda and it's all love. They fought for that. They scratched, they clawed for their piece of the pie, man. Their name is very spoken on, well known, and very good and respected because of all the shit that they have went through over the years to maintain that and to fuck. My flag is planted. It says Us, right? They need their shit. And the same thing goes for the Africano brothers. Now, I know there's a lot of people, man, and I'm talking about Sprinkle in the Woods that have some type of vendetta, or people assume they have some type of vendetta against Africanos. And I did a spill on it before where I said never once on a 4 or 3 yard have I ever witnessed the Africanos getting into it with the white boys. It hardly happens. It's very rare. Now, federal prison's a different level. Of course, they're over there whacking each other. But as far as state prison, it's just, everyone knows, man, if you ain't white, you ain't right, brother. Well, then stay over there on the right side. We'll be over here on the left. You know what I mean? And then the brothers over here, and everyone's doing their own thing. No one feels disrespected. If you see white guys on the track all day with their Swazis and their 1488s, y todo the lightning bolts. No one's giving a fuck, man. You see the brothers right there with Power, and Crip and 415, and nobody's tripping one way or the other, man. Everyone's representing where they're from. They're showing love and respect and humility, and that's what it is, man. It's about being humble and having respect on that yada. And people will give that to you. Do they have to like it? Nah, but you're going to have to take it. Oh, you're going to take it, all right. And that's just the way it is. So these questions that were asked to me, they were like, what's going on with the Southsiders and the whites and the Norteños clicked up and jumping people? And how does it feel, man, letting the white boys jump on fucking other brown people? Well, let me tell you something. It's not like that. Okay, I've said it before. It's the fucking general population. Everybody combined on this general population, no matter of race, color, or creed, man, against people of a degenerate case, meaning people on the S and Y side and that are non-active. So they're not looking at, hey, how can you let a white man jump your brother? How can you let a brother jump a white man? Man, it goes all ways, okay? Human is human. We're all people. Violence is not good, but sometimes it's necessary. To kill is a cruel necessity, but if one does not kill, how can one conquer? And if one does not conquer, then what future is there for our people? It was said, man. Zapata said it, right? What future is there for our people? You know, sometimes war is necessary. I hate to say it, but sometimes it is. You know, like I said, the enemy is not the white man. The enemy is not the brown man or the black man or nothing. That's not the enemy. The enemy is the eye in the sky, the administration that tends to put people together knowing that, man, there's some common denominators there that just ain't there. There's some factors, man. There's some white chronicles, right? There's some soft shoe chronicles. There's a whole lot of different shit that's going into it. So basically, it's the old Folsom setup. And if you're not keen, if you don't have a keen enough mind to understand that and to get it through your skull, well, so I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to go to a cooking channel and watch some hyena with the big nalgas make albondigas. I can't call it. But at the end of the day, what I can say is coming from someone who has been on actual prison yards, California Youth Authority, walked in them trenches, dug my ditches, did what I had to do, man. I will tell you that every man looks at it as business. There might be a few that have personal issues, and so I was scared those will get weeded out in the end. But for the most part, man, everything is a cause and effect when it comes to prison, man, because we want to. So now we're going to affect you. And that's just what it is. At the end of the day, though, to answer most questions, man, ain't no one tripping if a white man jumps on a brown man, man. Let's just say if he jumps on the wrong brown man, then it's going to go down. But if he doesn't, man, and he associates with certain people to help them, you know, that's just business, man, and nothing personal. Dispensa la tira. Prison is a different animal. It's not like that society in the streets that we live on where it's fucking everybody against it. Nah, over there in prison, man, hey, one day that could be your enemy. The next day they could be your friend. Case in point, north and south. Who would have ever thought, huh? Who would ever thunk it? Thunk, another word of the day. I don't even know that word, but I just made it up. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that I answered some of your questions, man. Where do the others and the brothers stand in all this? I think they stand on their own, man, 10 toes and toenails to the concrete, doing what they does. Ain't nothing ever switched up or changed with them brothers, man, or the oos. They're going to do what they do, man. My Asian little partners, man, you already know what it is, man. They wiggle. Ain't no guns in there, though. So I was good. They know how to use metal. Straight up. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes, or 4. Call it what you want. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get anything that you want coming to you. Remember, man, let them do them in prison and work that out. And we're going to do what we do right here on the streets. We got to work it out, work it out, work it out. But do it smoothly. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you like this content. If you do, please hit that like and subscribe. It's highly appreciated. If you don't, it is what it is. Hit that thumbs down, man. Heavy as the head that continues to wear this Raiders crown. We're going to do what we does. We does what we do. You already know what it is. This is Gunners Collective. Bang, bang, and another one.